We open on a hot, sunny day in the city of Westcrown, the city of Twilight. Except right now it's midday, and the sun is beating down so hot and heavy on this city on Dragonscaled Bay. We zoom in down into the streets, the busy streets, cobblestone streets that once shone brilliantly in Westcrown's storied past and now are dimmed, grimy. And walking down one of these cobblestone streets, we can see two members of the Datari, the city watch for Westcrown. One of them is a young human man whose pale white skin is looking quite ruddy and burnt from marching around in the sun. It's Harrison's first week, and he hasn't quite yet built up that protection needed to avoid getting burnt. And next to him, we see a smaller figure. Pan, can you please describe Flint for us?
Sure. So, Flint is a kobold. Now, when you think kobold, you might think like squat little guys. But for a kobold, he's surprisingly stout. It's obvious that his time walking the streets has given him a considerable bulk. He's proud, obviously, of his physical stature, which against Harrison may not be quite so impressive, but certainly he strikes a finer figure than your average kobold. He has ruddy, reddish bronze scales that lead up in his body. A few on his arms you see are nicked with small scratches and things. He's obviously been in some scraps in his youth. Some of it's been left a mark on him. For his gear, he's wearing a standard Datari uniform.
For the Westcrown Datari, because every Chalish city has Datari, the Westcrown Datari, they wear the emblem of the city, which is Eridan's eye. So an eye with wings behind it, stenciled in black over a red field, either on a shield or on a tabard.
As well as his bronze scales and his Datari uniform, he also has a somewhat self-effaced small pauldron that he keeps inside, something that he feels marks him as, whilst not officer material in the eyes of those who may say so, a cut above the rest in his own eyes at least. He strides alongside Harrison with his head held high, but also, despite his draconic, it is a hot day. It's bright and hot, and if he didn't have this kid with him, he probably would not be putting on such a show of it. Flint takes a curious kind of pride in what he does. So he will be saying, this area here, back in the day, amazing, and he's really absolutely bigging it up to effectively distract himself from just how goddamn hot it is. And also to show that he's the guy. Okay, Harrison needs to make sure that he stays in Flint's good side because he's the guy you want to know.
Harrison's sort of nodding and wiping at his brow. Right. Do we get a break at some point?
What, you mean sitting down, nice cup of tea, little oranges maybe?
Yeah. His eyes light up as you say that.
Oh, yeah, actually, no, of course not. Why would we? If you're lucky, you'll get to look at an orange.
Are there oranges we can look at then?
No, they're actually out of season, but the point stands. We are guards. We are Datari. We don't take breaks. We don't have oranges.
Yeah, Flint. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Look, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a bit of advice. About 2 doors down, there's usually a couple of doggy bowls, just out and about for strays and things. Now, I'm not saying you can have a little quick dip, but if you're feeling flush.
He sort of looks at you, but there's a well right there, and as you're passing by a street.
Yeah, well, you use a well if you're one of the common folk, but If you want to get down the dirt, but I've never done it. I'm just saying that some people might want to, you might want to.
Right. Okay, Flint.
I've never done it. I wouldn't. No one's around anyway.
He raises an eyebrow and goes over to the well to get himself a quick cup of water.
Flint will follow. I them drinking the water, arms folded, leaning against the well, trying to be very cool about it. He goes, well, I mean, we're anywhere, might as well have a quick. So absolutely just grabs himself a glass of water, or a cup of water rather.
Okay.
And just because you're having one.
A few minutes later, we round the corner, and ahead of us is the Archon's Anthology. Pen, can you describe the building of Archon's Anthology?
Archon's Anthology is a building that, much like the rest of the place, you can tell that this once had a considerable gleam, the hub of knowledge. But, over time, it has become a little more worn, as many buildings do. Much has been made of trying to keep it in good repair, but you can also tell there's a point maybe just towards the top where people have either just not been able to get up there, or something's happened perhaps, where it hasn't been worked on. So despite, it's almost like a sedimentary library, if you will, where you see the age of it, which as you mentioned has been around for hundreds of years, work its way down until people will be able to clean and replace stones and such. It gives it a sort of, almost like a Mirage-esque look, because it's got a kind of fade going from the top downwards, of course. It's sturdy, though. It's a big, sturdy, older building. You can even tell that some of the cobblestones around the base of the library are specific to it. Not so much special, not worth nicking or anything, but definitely you can tell they were hewn differently. It has a set of wrought stone steps with a couple of well-kept shrubberies on the side that lead into a large door, and through which, of course, you can see there are several large arched windows. Each one with a slight tint to it. Someone probably trying to keep out the heat.
As you turn the corner, you can see two Hell Knights of the Rack banging on the closed double doors.
Wow.
So they are wearing black armor with very deliberate gaps in the metal work to expose the musculature. Very He-Man, so maybe a big boob window on these two well-built men.
Sure.
And then on the front, on their stomach, right underneath the boob window, there is the sigil of the Rack, which is a sort of black wheel with a red blood drop in the center and lines going from 6 lines going from the red blood into the wheel itself. They also are wearing very sleek helms and cloaks that have been deliberately flayed and go behind them in tatters. They're shouting, "Open up! We know you're in there!" And you can hear a voice from behind. "Nay, we ain't gonna let you in without one of them, writs, whatchamacallits." There's another voice from behind. "A warrant!" "Yeah, that's right, a warrant. We ain't gonna let you in without one of them warrants. We know our rights. The Doritas said so."
So Flint, perks up seeing this, tosses their cup of water, and it's going to tap Harrison and say, "Eyes up, Harrison. Got a couple of troublemakers, looks like." Flint will get up and begin to stride forward towards the doorway, towards these guys. As he does, he'll give Harrison a nod. It's like, "I'm wishing bacon in the heat. Come on, let's go see what's going on."
Harrison looks a little shaken. But those are Hell Knights. They have they work by the right of House Through itself. We can't stand against them, can we?
Well, they can't stand against the law, and right now, we are the law. Besides, we're not going to have a fight. We're just going to have a chat.
Okay, if you say so.
So I'm just stride out behind them. They're right, you do require a writ of license and a warrant, actually.
They turn around, and I think you recognize these Hell Knights. Armiger Diggory and Armiger Gervais. They have been hounding the library for a while. Not that there isn't usually some Hound Knights some Hound Knights of the Rack specifically trying to get into the anthology and burn it down because they think it's full of heresy.
Yeah. I will mention to Harrison as we're going, like, not big fans of books.
Aha! Armiger Diggory says. Well, if it isn't little Flint the Kobold Tatari.
But if it isn't Armature, the big fat Hell Knight. Sorry, I said fat, I meant most blessed. Good to see you.
I know there's some outlawed illegal materials in this library. And just you watch, he lifts like a metal finger. One day, this whole building will burn in the purifying pyre of the Rack.
Flint turns to Harris and says, see, like I said, not big fans of books. Apart from when they're burning, obviously. Big book burner lads, these ones. Some bigger than others. I glance at Diggory.
Come on, he says to the other helmet. Let's get back to Terranic House. And they stomp off, marching in their metal boots.
Always a pleasure, amateurs. Have a good day. Stay safe.
The door peeks open, and you can see, like, peeking through a kobold face of your sister Marble. You done and chased them off. Well done, Flint.
Yeah, well, you're lucky. What are the hell Knights doing here again?
Bugger if I know.
Alright, well, listen. The lad's having a bit of a hard time with the sun. You mind if we step inside for a bit?
She nods. And opens the door and lets you in.
Flint steps in, does not give that he is very happy to be in the cooling shade of the library.
The interior of the library is, I think, similar to the outside. There's like multiple layers, probably like 3 or 4 stories that you can like see within. And starting from the top, it's like messy. There's all the oldest stuff is up there. And then as it gets down, it gets more and more organized. Till it comes down to the bottom again, where you can see it's a little messy again, because all the new arrivals that have like come in and haven't been properly reorganized. And we can see several different bronze, copper, and brass scaled kobolds wandering around. I almost feel like they're like wearing robes. Like,
yeah, I mean, they take it as seriously. I feel like the Clutch takes what they're doing seriously. Flint, his guardsman duties as Atari, and the librarians as the stewards of the books. So yeah, I think robes make sense.
Are you the only member of the Clutch that doesn't work at the library?
The only one that he knows of, yeah.
Okay.
I imagine there was probably like, you know, we don't talk about Uncle Trevor, that kind of thing, but otherwise, yeah.
All right, interesting. And so we see Marble there. Can you describe Marble for us?
Marble is another kobold, of course. Much more slight than Flint, but even so, slightly larger than like some of the other kobolds running around as well. It's apparent that perhaps when they were younger, they both took some interest in physical exertion. So, despite being obviously a small kobold, she is a good height for a kobold. Her scales, unlike Flint's, are pristine. She takes very good care of them. Is very careful to do so. And also, she's adorned herself. She has like small trinkets and things along her shoulders, I think. Just pleasant knickknacks. And then she's also wearing, despite her robes, I think, she has kind of almost like a fanny pack with useful things for taking notes or whatnot. She's very much put together, organized one of the two.
She reaches up a clawed hand to Harrison. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Marble. Welcome to Archon's Anthology. I see you. I hope my brother hasn't. Sorry, I'm trying not to go too Cockney with this.
No, it's fine because like a lot of what Flint does is like putting on a bit of fun. So absolutely, like, you know, you get home and everyone's talking very...
Okay.
You're Texan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you get, like, we go to your place and be like, wow, everyone's really Texan.
I hope my brother hasn't been giving you too much of a hard time.
Harrison, this is Marble, my sister, one of the librarians here. Marble, this is Harrison, new kid.
There's another, like, a couple different, like, smaller kobolds behind her that maybe one of them were shouting that second voice from earlier, and they're sort of, like, looking curiously.
Oh, actually, sorry, if they spot the one who was shouting earlier, is it a kobold that Flint would recognize?
Yeah, it's a younger cousin named Danward.
Nice. So, Flint's gonna just, like, lean down and go, listen, nice job, but remember, it's a writ of entry and a warrant, right? They gotta have them both. And nobody can get a writ of entry. That thing is 25 layers of paperwork deep. So remember that one.
Yes, Flint, yes! This younger kobold just sort of nods eagerly.
Alright, good kid. And he just ruffles their hair as he gets up and goes back.
I want to be a Datari just like you when I grow up.
Flint stops and turns, gets down on his knee again and says in a much less brusque term, he says, That's good. That's good, Danwood. Just make sure it's what you really want. And if it is, you come see me. I'll make sure that you go far. Mm-hmm. I'll take you with me.
Nah, Marble says. You ought to stay here in the library and work with the rest of us.
Some of us prefer to not work in the library, Marble. Some of us might even be able to do more good outside.
Now. There's a new voice that enters. And walking into this area, we see an older copper-scaled kobold whose bright scales sort of like gleam like pennies, like really like new pennies. And he is wearing like small spectacles with no
side bits. There's pince nez. That's the ones without the side bits.
Pince nez spectacles. They're just sitting on his snout. He's wearing like a dark gray robe, and he's coming forward with his claws together. His head librarian Ty, who is the leader of your clutch. Now, Marble, you really need to give Flint not give Flint so much trouble. What he does is important for the clutch, important for Archon's anthology.
It absolutely gives Downward like an unnecessary squeeze, and stands up. And what's the deference here? Is it like a bow? Is it a friendly nod?
He's not like head priest or anything. I mean, the clutch does have reverence to the collection, and as head librarian, people respect what he has to say about running the anthology and thus managing the clutch, being the leader of it. But I do think otherwise it is a fairly casual and maybe democratic sort of system.
So I guess it's like a headmaster. Like you respect him. Yeah, I'm not in school anymore, but it's good to see you, sir, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Which is what Flint says. Thank you, sir. It's good to see you.
But you really should visit more often. Pick up a book. You know, you can borrow them. This is a lending library.
The books are important, and my work does not give me much time for reading, sir. It's more of a, boots on the street kind of thing. It's often also quite dark.
Oh, yes, I understand, but it's best to keep this muscle, and he taps his temple, exercised as well.
That is true. Here, Danwood, what are you reading at the moment?
I've got this excellent book. And he sort of grabs you by the claw and leads you through the racks.
I'll be right back. And he, absolutely goes with him too.
We go through the racks, and you can see head librarian Ty is correct. This is a lending library. And so now that the Hell Knights have stopped badgering the front entrance, we can see guests actually coming in and out. This is a library that was built and is maintained to serve the common folk. And I think I want to say it's the only library on the mainland. Otherwise, you have to go to Westcrown Island, where all the noble houses are.
That's the last part where the pride comes from. This is the library, as far as Flint's concerned.
Yeah, for regular folk, basically. And indeed, that is why, for the most part, the kobolds of Archon's anthology are quite respected by the people of Rego Scripa, because it is an institution. Some time passes. What kind of book do you end up walking out of here with?
I think Dan was giving them some kind of like adventure tome. It's written like some kind of like, historical document, but it is a very exciting story of swashbuckling heroes.
Swashbuckling, I was about to say pirates or the high seas or something.
Absolutely.
And so then the two Dotari head on their way, continuing their route. Right, so
Let's
Flint,
see.
Where are we headed to next?
Gotta see a chum. We're heading over to the Bruised Eel.
The Bruised Eel, but that's not a really nice tavern. I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry, Harrison. Are you used to the finer things of life?
Well, no, but I typically don't go to bars where there are hookers.
Oh. Right, of course. I completely understand. It didn't strike me as as a wee soft thing, but I get it. Listen, they're just doing their work, right? They give a service, and they give a service. Besides, you ain't got the coin for it, so I wouldn't worry about it. They can smell it on you.
Well, if we're just there for information, I suppose. So this is a regular thing in being a part of the Dotari?
Yes and no. See, sometimes you have to grease the wheel a little bit. Small time crooks. Small time, right? Maybe a couple of mutton here, a chicken there. It's not a big deal. But small time crooks, they rub up against bigger time crooks every now and then. Sometimes someone gets hired for a job. Sometimes somebody sees something they shouldn't have done. The trick is, you give these small time crooks a little bit of leeway, and you can catch the big fish. So we're going to go we're going to go fishing.
Okay, I know how to fish.
Right, I just want to. Flint stops in the street and goes, I just want to make sure you understood the analogy because I don't want you trying to actually fish.
I think I know what a metaphor is.
He raises a finger to say something and then goes, yeah, fair play. All right, no worries. Let's go.
So we head up north through the Rego Scripa to the Bruised Eel. Indeed, the Bruised Eel is not, quote, a nice tavern. The Bruised Eel is a wide and squat, almost shack-looking building sitting on the docks between the warehouses that sit along the coast of the Adivian River. We can smell a lot of fish as we're coming in here because these warehouses hold a lot of fishy product.
We are going fishing.
And outside on the sort of porch of the Bruised Eel, underneath the tin roof that has been painted like a dark blue, we can see several scantily clad people sort of looking bored, fanning themselves from the heat. And every once in a while, someone will walk by and one of these people will talk to them, take their hand, and lead them into the bar itself.
As Flint comes up and says, now Harrison, remember, we're just going to a bar. You can be cool, right?
He just sort of opens and closes his mouth a couple times, not sure how to answer.
Okay, it's fine. Just follow my lead.
Yeah, so I think one of the sex workers is a Ayuvaran male, a half-elf male, with very tanned skin, who sort of waggles his fingers at you, and winks at Harrison as you walk by. And Harrison's sunburnt face like gets even redder.
I think as we're going by, I give him like a wink back. I say, "All right, he's on duty. Good luck out there."
Iuvaran male sticks out his tongue and like rolls his eyes.
Flint looks to Harrison with a harder look to say, "Don't get distracted," and leads him in.
Assuming your eyes scan the bar, and you see your contact sitting at a table with a gnome. First, Pan, can you describe Bondi Seven Sticks for us?
Bondi Seven Sticks looks perpetually nervous, just anxious. They have these huge, boggling eyes. They are a goblin. They are masculine, but scrawny, boggle-eyed, just too many cigarettes. You can see they've put out a couple on the table in front of them. Those are, I say cigarettes. These are very hastily rolled roaches with perhaps the barest minimum of tobacco and whatever else they get their hands on in there. And they've been just going through them. They are constantly eyeing about themselves as if they feel like they've got like maybe a mouse on them or something. And they seem nervous. But Flint knows this is something of a ruse. It's easy to have people see you as harmless when you seem so very unawares. It's why they make good cop and informant partners. They are both seen as lesser.
Yeah, and as soon as you said that cigarettes, I could smell the way Bondi.
Oh yeah, bodies.
And it's probably like those big ogling eyes, which are like typically red for goblins. Like I wonder if there's like a little bit of yellow in there. Like his fingers are also like a little yellow.
Definitely.
So much nicotine.
They're almost always rolling as well. You ever see people like just rolling while they're talking to you just casually? Mm-hmm. Almost all the time, just rolling. Sometimes they don't even take them away with them. They just leave them around. It's a nervous habit.
As you see him, he's rolling something up and like licks it and then passes it to the gnome woman next to him. She is a gnomish woman with a pale fawn skin tone. She's got dark eyebrows that have like she's drawn in as well, and has like drawn in like super dark eyeliner around her eyes as well with wingtips. Her like soot black hair is shaved on the side and comes down the other side, and she's just wearing like a simple brown tunic top that's sleeveless, and like these shorts. So she sits there and she takes the cigarette that Bondi has rolled for her and just like leans down to the candle and lights it and puffs on it. Well, Corporal, just the kobold I was expecting to see. Would you like one? And he holds up a cigarette that he just started rolling.
I would, but I don't want to. Drink?
Yes, and he'll flag down one of the servers who, just a random human person comes by, takes drink orders.
Yeah, as they come by, Flint will say, 4 L's, keep 2. Standard parlance. So they lean over to Harris and say, you don't drink on the duty, but you do buy when you're in places like this.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So the server will eventually come back with 2 ales and put them down in front of the goblin and the gnome. I see you're training a rookie. How's that going?
Yeah. Oh, he's a credit to the force, aren't you, Harrison?
And Harrison nods as he's like sort of settling uncomfortably in his chair.
As you can tell, he's a little bit green to the business of the day, but I'm sure you'll forgive him his small slip this time.
Green, the gnomish woman says. He looks a lot more red to me.
Well, as the Tari, we are charged to patrol this fine city, and that requires some sacrifice. Harrison here is making just such a sacrifice all over his body, actually.
She leans up to him. You never heard of sunscreen, rookie?
Flint doesn't need sunscreen, or doesn't wear sunscreen. He's just looking at Harrison like, yeah, Harrison, you never heard of sunscreen?
I think we're here to do a job, right? Or we're here for information? Yeah, we're here for information. He tries to, like, put on a strong front.
Of course, of course. Sorry, I do enjoy a chat.
How rude of me, how rude of me. This is a associate of mine.
Sorry, we didn't introduce that either. Corporal Flint, young Harrison, and you are...
I'm Jacopulio.
Jacopulio, charmed. Is that all the same, all one name, or is that like two?
It's one name.
That a surname? Okay. That's not in character, that's me just asking.
I'm Jacopulio. And, yeah. Bondi here told me I might be able to get some information from you. In exchange, of course.
Well, I do like a nice exchange. And Bondi, reps you, so I expect it should be, fortuitous for all included.
I represent a concerned group of citizens who are especially concerned that the Ditari don't seem to be doing anything about a certain rise in crime that's been happening across Rego Crua lately.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I wouldn't say we are without an ear to people. Why don't you tell us more about these crimes that have been happening? It's great because I've just walked in and somebody's just given me information. I came to see my informant and bam! Crimes!
Have you heard of the bastards of Erebus?
Can I roll or should I just know that?
Roll and make a society check. Or, if you have a proper lore, I'd take that as well.
Yeah, I do. I have Westcrown lore. As a child of Westcrown, as somebody who's been here, day to dusk. With a 9.
You have 2 hero points.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it, but yeah, so thinking, eyeing around, I re-roll with a hero point, and I get a... Wow! 12. With a 12, how I fare?
There are many gangs in Westcrown. Most of them operate out of the Rego Cater, the dead sector. Those are the ruins of Westcrown. And Obrigan Gate here is the main entrance that blocks that off. The Rego Cater is full of bandits, monsters, other violent people, the sort of dregs of society, unfortunately. And the Rego Cater is manned by the Run Datari, or the Ruin Wardens.
How are they seen? They sound like they'd be like the hardest guys.
They are, for sure.
Oh.
No. But the posting is one of social punishment and low prestige. Yeah, no one wants to get there. The best is the Regid Datari, and those are the palace wardens that work on the island. Then there's Conditori, the canal wardens, who are like the marinas and stuff.
So at this point, Flint's on the low tier, but even he's like, whoa, the Rundatari, I think that's that. So I think to answer your first question, say, can't say I do. Sounds like Rego Cater territory, and I don't go those ways. That's Rundatari routes.
Of course you haven't heard of them. What good are the Datari in this city?
Well, with the help of our concerned citizens, hopefully a lot of good. Perhaps you could tell me more.
The bastards have recently appeared on the scene. I mean, I'm not that familiar with the underworld and all that. I simply, run a racket out of here with my employees, and you look, and that twinkish Ayuvaran man is like talking to someone, and they lock eyes, and he sort of nods at her, and she nods and gives him a thumbs up.
Flint leans back, looks over, and goes, clocks it, says, "Of course, just getting by, earnest businesswoman, understood. We would love to make sure that the hardworking people are looked after. So anything that you might have heard or not heard would be most useful."
Well, like I said, they've appeared rather recently, in the last month or two, and they're pretty well stocked. Almost as if they're being funded by someone. And yet, the Datari don't seem to be doing anything about them. Almost as if, and she's like getting loud, like a little louder.
Yeah.
And like you can see that she's getting like angry about
Getting
this.
incensed, yeah.
Almost as if someone in the Datari is being bribed not to pay attention to them.
Flint is going to lean forward and with a steely-eyed, very steady voice say, "Those are some very serious allegations."
I mean, Iomede's tits! What the hell do we pay taxes for?
I can see, madam, that you are upset. Listen, if you're saying that these bastards, literally, are making their way in from the Marquette, then we can't be having that. Harrison and I will personally see to what's going on. Isn't that right, Harrison?
He's nodding and looking a little, like, shaken at the fact that she's just yelling this sort of,
kind of, yeah.
Not traitorous, but it's definitely slanderous stuff here in this bar.
And he'll like, again, he'll say, "I appreciate you've been doing your business here, nice and quietly, no problems. It would behoove all of us that you are able to keep doing your business here with less distractions. They're obviously not doing you any good. Perhaps you could take it down a notch. We'll handle it, but don't let anybody else hear you talking like that. See, I'm out here trying to be a friend. Other time might not be so willing to look the other way. I want to work with you. I want you to work with me."
As you're talking, she's taking like rapid puffs on her cigarette that it's like burning down super quickly.
I mean, I Bondi and just like, he's already made another one.
Yeah, and he just like, there's like one in front of everybody on the table
So
right now.
Harrison and Flynn got two each.
Yeah. But at this point, there's a tap on your shoulder, and you can see once more that tanned Iovaran man in the... I feel like he's literally just wearing like a Speedo.
Oh yeah, this guy is super dressed.
But in his hand, as you like look up at him, you scroll down to the hand that he's holding, and it's Danward.
Danward?
Hi, Flint. I want to be a Datari. Did you lose this?
God damn it! He steps off the table. If he goes to take Danward out of this fella's arms, does he give any resistance?
No, not at all.
Okay. Right, so yeah, he grabs Danward, looks at Horace and goes, "Stay here," and just drags Danward outside.
As you go outside, you see running down the street your sister Marble. And as she's running up, you can see out of an alleyway step 4 Hell Knights, led by Diggory and Gervais. The other two immediately scoop up Marble and begin dragging her away, kicking. And she's like, "No, what the? Get off of me!" As Diggory and Gervais turn around to see you.
Flint's face is a smolder of anger, but he swallows it down.
Well, if it isn't the heretic Datari, maybe it's time to teach you a lesson. And they both draw their long swords as Danward goes to the corner to hide. And let's go to the map and roll some motherfucking initiative.
Absolutely. Tell Danward to go get Harrison and stay with Bondi, who's probably the safest person in that bar at the moment. That's a 17 for Flint.
Okay, so there is a well in between you and Diggory and Gervais, who have begun reaching for their long swords. They haven't had the chance to draw them yet. And it is your turn, Flint. You can see murder in their eyes.
Okay. I'll draw my throwing knife. I want to toss it at the one holding Marble.
The other two Tatari have already begun dragging her away, and these two are stopping you from chasing after her.
In that case, I'll just... You know what? I never liked you, Diggory. And I'm going to throw the knife at him. Oh, that is a 26 there. That's a critical hit.
A critical hit? You hit straight into that boob window.
Absolutely, I do.
Describe your kill.
So the boob window, I think, has like a kind of a point where you can just about see like just the clavicle, just bottom of the throat. And it catches him in that, just straight. It's almost like a no movement thing. 1 minute he's there, next minute there's a knife in his throat.
You've got one more action.
I'm moving up towards the well.
Okay, it is Gervais's turn. He will draw his longsword and advance, and will strike.
So yeah, I think Flint tosses the dagger, and then as Diggory goes down, he makes a dive down behind the well.
Immediately, Gervais comes bearing down on you and hits for a 17. It does 2 points of damage. So it clangs against the well that you've dived down towards. You're using your nimble dodge reaction?
Oh, yes. Flint was ready for this as he ducks out of the way because he gets a +2 bonus for his AC, which puts it up to 18 seed. No go.
So it doesn't hit.
Doesn't hit.
And Gervais curses, says something in diabolic. You heretic! Kill Diggory, I'll kill you and all your clutch! And it's your turn, Flint.
Switch weapons to my rapier. Oh, wait, no. Do I have to switch weapons? Because I threw the throwing knife.
You do have to draw the rapier.
Yeah, okay, so as he says this, wordlessly, Flint reaches down, draws his rapier, and from his lower point, as this guy is kind of looming over him, shouldn't be saying that with a target right in your chest, mate. That is a 17 hits for 10 damage.
Shit, describe your kill!
Same again. These boob windows make excellent pointers. I don't know what you guys are thinking. As he just shoves him through the boob window.
As Gervais falls to the ground, Jacopulio comes running out behind you. Fuck, you killed them quick!
Better than doing it slow. You're not averse to a little disappearing act, are you? I gotta get rid of these two bodies.
She whistles, and several hookers come up and start dragging the bodies away.
Much obliged.
You're in trouble with the Hell Knights, huh?
Seems that way. Look, I have to get my sister back. They've dragged her off somewhere.
She holds up a finger. Oh, gods be asked. I might know some people who can help.
Be very appreciative.
Fuck me. Alright, well, what about that kid back there?
Oh, bollocks. Yeah, Harrison. You just get a cut to the door with just Flint pushing the door and go, Harrison! Get your ass out here!
Harrison's holding the hand of Danward. I'm sorry, Flint. I wanted to see you. Marble came chasing after me.
It's okay, it's alright. It's alright.
Where's
Marble?
Marble?
Gets down and on these, we get close to him. It's okay. We'll talk later. You're not in trouble, but we do need to talk later. For now, I need you to stay here. Stay safe. The nice people here will look after you for now. Won't they, Bondi?
Bondi's like, shouldn't he go home? I mean, this place, it's not a place for a child.
I know, but I need to get them. They've got my sister.
I can, Flint, Harrison says, I can take him back to the anthology.
Perfect. Good thinking.
What are you going to do?
Flint stands in the doorway, says, "Get my sister back," and exits.
And so the two of you head off southward with Jacopulio, who is taking you to a place where you might be able to get some help.
Nice.
And that's where we'll end the session today.
All right. Tumble Through presents Twilight's Edge, a Pathfinder 2e actual play of the Council of Thieves adventure path converted from Pathfinder 1e. Tumble Through uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc. used under Paizo's fan content policy, paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Tumble Through is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com.